Like here, I'm doing the not a short but a long one. Genesis 11, Tower of Babel. I'll comment on the end. Now the whole world had become one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar. I think that's Babylon also. I mean modern day Iraq, and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we be scattered all over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speak in the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them." Come, as Jesus Christ, who was the Word, who did all the talking through the power of the Spirit, said, "Come, let us," the Father and power of the Holy Spirit, go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other. Because God knew man would be so far advanced than we are today. Right? God wanted more time. So the Lord scattered them from over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it is called Babel, where you get babbling on today, because they confuse languages. What is he saying? He's babbling on today. Comes from there. Because there the Lord confused the language in the whole world. The language of the whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them all over the face of the whole earth. I'll go back to that. Shem to Abraham. Remember the three sons of Noah? And then Abram, which was Abraham, came from Shem. This is the account of Shem's family line. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father of Arphaxad. And after he became the father of Arphaxad, Shem lived 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad had lived 35 years, he became the father of Shilar. And after he became the father of Shilar, Arphaxad lived 403 years. Remember, they've become from 900, now they're down to 300 to 400. And then God said, too, that after that, they wouldn't live more than 120 eventually. When Shilar had, because they still had to get people off the ground here after the flood, right? When Shilar had, meaning live long on more kids, when Shilar had lived 30 years, he became the father of Eber. And after he became the father of Eber, Shilar lived 403 years. And he had other sons and daughters. When Eber lived 34 years, he became the father of Peleg. And after he became the father of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg lived 30 years, he became the father of Reu. And after he became the father of Reu, Peleg lived to 290 years. See, they're going down to 300 from 900, eventually 120, as I said, and had other sons and daughters. And they started having them at 30 here. Anyhow, years of age. When Rehu had lived 32 years, he became the father of Serug. And after he became the father of Serug, he lived 270 years and had other sons and daughters. When Serug had lived 30 years, he became the father of Nahor. And after he became the father of Nahor, he lived 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor lived 29 years, he became the father of Terah. And after he became the father of Terah, Nahor lived 119 years now. And now in 140 here, and has other sons and daughters. After Terah had lived 70 years, he became the father of Abraham, Norah, and Haran, Abraham's family. This is an account of Terah family's line. Terah became the father of Abraham, Norah, and Haran became the father of Lot. That's why Lot was the nephew of Abraham. While his father Terah was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans. That's Babylon, that's modern-day Iraq, and the land of his birth. Abraham and Nahor, Abram, which became Abraham, and Nahor both married. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarah. Remember, she was barren, had the promised son. Another story, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. She was the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and Ishka. Now Sarah was childless because she was not able to conceive. As I said, Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot. There you go. His grandson, and Abram was the uncle of Lot. Remember, you'll see here from Sodom and Gomorrah later, saved them. And his daughter-in-law Sarah, the wife of his son Abram, and together they went out of Ur of the Chaldeans in the land of Babylon, on the Iraq, to the land, to go to Canaan, the Israelite land today. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. Terah lived 205 years, and he died in Haran. So that's the end of chapter 11. Well, I want to go back to the beginning here, Tower of Babel. Now, God knew back then that if he didn't confuse the languages, hence we get babbling on again, that man would be so far more advanced than we are today. I mean, meaning what we are today would be many more years ago. And God wanted more time. He foresaw that. Meaning he didn't want man to reach the knowledge that we have today much earlier. For whatever reason, God wanted more time. Either way, I want to say something about Tower of Babel. Remember, he confused them to disperse them. And hence all the languages and the separate continents. Till the point of, of the New World, where they're bringing all nations back together again. And it ain't gelling, right? It's not gelling. So it's just very interesting. Hence the Tower of, nothing represents the statute of Daniel at the end, right? Remember the kingdom at the end. Remember, it was mixed with iron and clay, meaning it was strong with iron, but it was weak clay mixed because they weren't united. What's happening in the U.S. today, the world power in the end, it's the end as we know as far, because we're the present. All the nations, all the people come together, they're not mixing. They're having problems. It's just interesting. See where it all goes. Okay, anyways, that's Genesis 11. Okay, bye.